Happy Miracle Monday. I'm Dawn Petalino. I'm a transformational coach and I'm also the best-selling author of Peace, Power, and Miracles. And Miracle Monday is just a day where I offer you different tips, different tools, different truths to help you live a more peaceful and miraculous life. And today's is about interpretation. It's about whenever we come up with circumstances, it's about returning to sanity is really what it's about, and breaking rules. And what I mean by that is in our own mind, we have all these experiences, and whenever something comes up in our life, what we do is we take this experience and we interpret it. Now the problem with that is we're often interpreting it based on the different beliefs that we have. So if I have a belief I'm less than and a situation comes up, I will more than likely interpret it as somehow I am less than. If I have the belief that I am responsible for everybody in order for things to work out okay, then a situation will come up and I will probably cause myself a lot of stress because I'm interpreting it as I am responsible for everything here so that it will be okay. And all of these situations, when we interpret them from a place of shame or guilt or our wounds, which is what that is growing up experiences, things happen to us, and that's the thing that happened was real. The belief that we took on about ourselves is not real. Unfortunately, that's what we kind of start replaying over and over. But we reach a point in our life where we are ready to break free of being miserable. We are ready to break free of the bondage of those interpretations, of those patterns and beliefs. And so what we want to do is we have to stop interpreting the situation ourselves. What we forget is the greater part of us is not that small self who took on those beliefs. The greater part of us is a very loving, higher conscious, energetic being, a source, your inner source, what some might call the Holy Spirit. The Course in Miracles refers to it as the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is the part in you that thinks with its right mind. You might call it your higher mind, your higher self. That is the greater part of you. But what we've done so often is we interpret everything and react from everything from those wounds that we reinforce this very small portion of ourselves. And that's what the Course in Miracles and Course of Love would say is you're trying to do it alone. You're trying to do it alone. And you were never meant to think alone. Now take that in. You were never meant to think alone. What does that mean? That means in every moment I have to ask my higher mind, my higher self, God, the Holy Spirit, whatever you call that part of you. I have to say, what's the more of what you're being right here? Are we doing this together right now? I have to remind myself I'm not alone, because this higher self will show you, see this, say this, do this. Now that involves a lot of letting go of our interpretation. And that's what the Course of Love says. It says you want to interpret these things, and it makes it feel like some kind of responsibility you have. You have this interpretation, but a response is not an interpretation. A response is a revelation of who you truly are in that moment. But in order to do that, I have to be open to an answer I don't have yet. I have to be open to an answer that I don't even have yet. So I have to ask in those moments that I am feeling suffering, that I am feeling miserable, that I am any kind of negativity. I have to ask, how are you seeing this? And I ask my inner self that, what I call my God self. How are you seeing this? Because I'm sure it's not the way I'm seeing it. And I have to surrender those thoughts. And I have two examples of this, an outer and an inner example. An outer example is somebody was really, I was so frustrated with them. I was so annoyed with them. And I just prayed that, God, how do you see this person? And I just felt like God was saying, oh, I forgive them. I love this person. And I thought, have you seen what they've done? Have you seen this? And I thought, okay, if that's how you're seeing it, then what's my part? What do I have to do? And the answer was, you have to let go of feeling responsible for their actions, because their actions to me weren't of an integrity that I felt the situation called for. And I had to stop feeling responsible because I was part of the group this person was in. I had to stop feeling responsible for their actions. That was my part. That's what was causing me suffering. The other thing is an inner experience where I had been feeling all this sadness, and I was trying to figure it out, trying to figure out what's going on in my world. Maybe it's my attitude that needs to change. Maybe it's an action I'm not taking that I should be taking. I was really driving myself crazy with this. And when I finally just gave myself, this was a big thing, gave myself the time and space just to feel it, because all I was feeling was a lot of sadness and just didn't feel good. But when I gave myself that time and space and loved myself in it and said, okay, you know what? God, what is the more of what you're being right here? Because every moment, love is present in that situation. And if I'm denying love's presence, then I am denying that union. So I said, okay, what is more of what you're being here? And it just felt like, oh wait, there's a part of me that's really sad. Then don't run away from it. Just allow it to be there. Make it okay for that part. Give it permission. And I just kind of rocked myself and let myself feel sad and felt this overwhelming sadness and really just kind of sobbed and still not really sure what it was. But I realized that this is grief over something. This is some old emotion that just for whatever reason now, maybe it's the holidays, maybe I don't know, came up. And by loving myself and inviting love in that loop, as the Course of Love would say, you have to invite the love into the loop again, that I was able to experience the sadness, cry out this emotion, not make it wrong, inviting love back in. And whenever that was done, I felt like I wasn't abandoned. I felt like I had not abandoned myself. And the truth of the matter was there wasn't anything to fix. There was only me to love myself. So whatever this grief was, could come out. And once it was out, I could feel my heart open again. And I felt this relief. So in both of those instances, I had to go in and I had to say, okay, what is the truth of what you're being here? Because love is always present here. It's my own thinking of somehow I'm being punished, or somehow I missed the boat on something. Somehow I'm screwing up in some way. No. What is the more of what you're being here? Because I am ready to break the bondage of this suffering and not go alone. And what that means, again, is in every moment, I am saying, are we doing this together? And I'm talking to my higher self. Are you here? Of course you're here. Are we doing this together? Meaning, am I here? I have to remind myself, are we doing this together? And then I have to just be as present as I can be and bring love for myself into the situation, but also ask for interpretation. Interpretation is not my job. Revelation is my job. So I have to be willing to receive an answer that I don't have yet. And with that, I hope you have a miraculous Monday. I hope you are willing and ready to start this new year with breaking free of your own bondage by not going it alone, by allowing yourself to depend on your higher self. Depend. It is the thing that keeps you invulnerable. Not invulnerable with a shield, but invulnerable in the perfect safety of love. Have a miraculous Monday, and I look forward to seeing you next week. I hope you have a wonderful new year, and I hope you in every moment ask, are we doing this together? Take care, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye for now.